Alright, it's HA Wire again. Just giving y'all a quick update on the Honda Fat Cat. I brought in the piston and the jug into the machine shop yesterday, so that's going to be done by Wednesday. And I should have everything back. Yeah, I should have everything back by Wednesday. I'm gonna be putting the Fat Cat together as soon as I get all the parts in. I've got the gasket in. I guess the only parts I can possibly be waiting for is the jug and piston. But right now I'm working on smoothing out the scoring on the cam here. You can wish this camera would freaking focus. Hold on 1 second. Alright, let's see here.
Head over to Taco Bell for happy hour, where every day from 2 to 5 p.m. 30 bookings.
Oh, there we go. I got it to focus now. See here, you can see exactly what I've been doing here. You see the scoring on that. You see the scoring on that. That one's real bad. But you can see where I began to smooth it out some with the little grinding wheel, or I guess the wire wheel. I'm going to try and make all that at least look as smooth as I possibly can. It's really not as rough as it looks, because when I run my fingernail across it, it really doesn't catch on anything. You can feel the abrasions, but it really doesn't do much. So I'm going to try and smooth all this out and make it look as nice as I can. At least get it smooth around the cam, because that's where the scoring is the worst. As soon as you get towards the back, it's not as bad. Yeah, I'm going to make that look as nice as I can. Alright. It's looking a lot better. Polished it up, rounded off those little burrs. Pretty shiny. Yeah, and Las Vegas Strip is on the TV right now, so ignore that. But, yeah. Next thing to do is to polish up the rocker arms where they hit the cam, because one of them is scored pretty badly. The other one's alright, but I'm going to try and clean at least the scored one up some, because it's not looking too good. I just want to make sure it's going to be as smooth as I possibly can get it. Alright. One thing I forgot to let you all know is since the bottom end didn't work out, and I couldn't swap the crankshaft over from the one I had ordered off of eBay, what I actually ended up doing was, I guess I'll show you in a later video whenever I get back to putting the motor back together, because that'd be a better time, because right now it's pretty soaking wet outside. It's been raining all day. Right now the sun's shining, but it was pouring earlier. I just don't feel like going out. But yeah, I ended up doing my own honing and grinding job inside of the connecting rod for the wrist pin, and seems to have worked out pretty good. At first I used a little grinder on the end of a Dremel and grinded out the burrs inside as best as I could, and then I took the little wire wheel, stuck it inside of there real snug, and I about burnt up the Dremel doing it, but I cut it off before that happened. But I wire wheeled the heck out of it, so that got rid of the bad scoring that the grinder left. And then I ran 600 grit sandpaper inside of it without honing oil to get rid of the lines from the wire wheel, and then I used 2000 grit with honing oil to finish it off. And surprisingly, it actually came out very smooth. I took it to one of my buddy's friends who used to be a motorcycle mechanic. He says that looks fine, and when I also took the bottom end of the machine shop with me when I took the piston and jug there to get it checked out, and get one of the machinists there take a look at it and tell me if I did a good job or not, and he said that I actually did a damn good job, and that that's about as good as it can ever get with how smooth it is. Because I mean, you can slide the connecting rod. Well, I mean, you can slide the wrist pin right into the connecting rod like it's nothing, and it's got a teeny tiny little bit of play, not even enough to make a piston slap sound. I mean, once you get the oil going through there, it's gonna snug that out real quick, and it's gonna create like a layer in between. But pizza needs to cook a little longer. Yeah. So wrist pin's got a little weeny bit of play. The oil is gonna make a nice protective layer in there. It's gonna make it nice and smooth. And also, when I stick the wrist pin in, I can turn it back and forth just fine. It's a little bit. You can still feel some abrasions in it. And when you move the wrist pin in there, you can see the abrasions on the wrist pin. I think he's saying connecting rod. It's really not noticeable at all, but you can see it with your eye on the wrist pin, but you can't feel it with your nail. You can't. I scratched a nail across it lightly to see if I could feel the abrasions on the wrist pin, and it's more visual than anything else. It's really practically nothing. But everyone says I did a good job and that the motor should be able to work just fine like that. And eventually it'll re-break itself in, and those little abrasions that are there will be just gone after a little while of running it. So I'm going to take it real easy on the motor and hope for the best. And any of y'all that have any connecting rod scoring up at the wrist pin, just know that it can be done to repair. Of course, my scoring wasn't as bad as it could have been, but usually when the wrist pin seizes in the connecting rod, it really can't get any worse unless somehow it seizes to the piston and continues to rotate in the connecting rod. So the piston kind of sacrificed itself for my connecting rod. Now I want to eat some damn pizza because I'm hungry. Alright, well I cleaned them up as best I could. Still looks fairly scored, but it's definitely cleaner now. I mean, I can't really feel the abrasions. Well, I can right there. But everywhere else feels pretty good. So, that should add just a little bit more life to the overhead valves. This one's pretty damn smooth. There's like no abrasions at all that I can feel. It's the exhaust one that was a little messed up. We got shiny cam now, and we got a nice shiny everything else, I guess. Let's see here. Yeah, you can see how it's supposed to work. The only thing is that it doesn't have the other bearing to hold it into the right place, so it's not a really good example, but yeah, they're nice and shiny now.